For centuries, many African and European countries have been excellent trade partners. It started way back. In fact, they were the people who built many roads and railways leading to ports on our beautiful African continent. These were built to help export our raw natural mineral resources from the continent to various nations in Europe. Ever since, Europe has been the leading trade partners in Ghana as well as other African countries. But the first quarter of Ghana's 2024 trade report has brought some interesting changes.
From the perspective of imports, it was more from Europe. And in recent times, since the second quarter of 2023, we've seen a turnaround of this. And now Asia is the lead in terms of imports.
So let's dive into the latest report from the Ghana Statistical Service and see what it reveals about Ghana's international trade landscape. But before we start, please support us by liking the video and also subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you very much for your support. Now let's dive into it. The Ghana Statistical Service has reported that the total international trade value for the first quarter of 2024 amounted to 107 billion Ghana cedis. This breaks down to 59.5 billion Ghana cedis in exports and 48.1 billion Ghana cedis in imports. In dollar terms, that's about $8.8 billion. With $4.8 billion in export and $3.9 billion in import. But there is more to this story than just the numbers. For the first time, Asian countries have surpassed Europe as Ghana's leading trading partners for both export and import. This marks a significant shift in Ghana's trade dynamics. China has emerged as Ghana's largest import partner, with imports totaling 33.9 billion Ghana cedis. This change underscores the growing influence of Asia in the global trade and its increasing importance to Ghana's economy.
In the case of imports, we did only 9 billion Ghana cedis change between 2022 and 2023, whereas we did 19.3 billion Ghana cedis change between 2022 and 2023. About a 10.3 billion Ghana cedis difference between the rate of changes from an import perspective between 2022 and 2023. So we saw a much higher change for the imports that are coming from Asia to the tune of 19.3 billion Ghana cedis. This has led to a swap in terms of the continent that is leading from the perspective of imports. From the perspective of imports, it was more from Europe, and in recent times, since the second quarter of 2023, we've seen a turnaround of this, and now Asia is the lead in terms of imports. Exports to Europe was 13.7 billion Ghana cedis, and that of Asia was 16.0 billion Ghana cedis in terms of changes between 2022 and 2023. Between 2022 and 2023, we had an increase in our exports to Europe going up by 13.7 billion Ghana cedis. Between 2022 and 2023, the same time period, our exports to Asia increased by 16 billion Ghana cedis. What this is telling us is that although our exports are going up, our exports to different continents are at different rates. And this is very important, especially because of different global crises that are happening at different parts of the world and how we take advantage of that.
Another highlight from the report is the trade surplus. Ghana recorded a trade surplus of 11.5 billion Ghana cedis in the first quarter of 2024, more than double the 4.5 billion surplus from the same period in last year 2023. This surplus was driven by price increases rather than rise in export volumes. The Export and Import Prices Indices, or XMPI, showed that prices for export commodities increased by 20.4%, while import prices rose by 11.5% between Q1 2023 and Q1 2024. You know we can't talk about Ghana's international trade without talking about this. I mean cocoa. Despite the overall positive trade figures, there was a notable decline in the export volume of cocoa products, which hit its lowest point since 2021. The value decreased to $592.2 million, significantly lower than the average of $825.8 million recorded in the first quarters of 2021, 2022, and 2023. This decline in cocoa exports is a concern given that cocoa is a major export commodity for Ghana, even though a significant amount of cocoa is now being processed locally. This report also reflects on the 2023 annual trade report, highlighting that Ghana reversed a trade deficit of 4.8 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 to a trade surplus of 5.3 billion in 2023. Key drivers of this change were the significant increase in gold exports, which rose from 54.1 billion Ghana cedis to 84.4 billion Ghana cedis, and a slight increase in mineral fuels and oils. So the Ghana's trade landscape is evolving with new partners and shifting dynamics. Understanding these changes is crucial for the country's economic future. So stay tuned for more updates as we continue to track Ghana's journey in international trade. Thank you very much for watching, and that is all for today's episode. Please let us know your thoughts and suggestions on this in the comment section below. My name is Sheriff Haruna. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Mackerel.